Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today we're talking about probably the ugliest tank in Blitz, because whenever I think of an ugly tank, I automatically think about the E6. As you all know, heavy tanks are my, obviously, favorite class, and the E6 just happens to be a heavy tank, so I always think of this tank whenever I think of ugly. But is this tank just ugly, or is there something more to it? We're going to be finding out in today's video, of course. Now, the E6 is sort of loved by the developers, I think, because they always seem to buff this tank. Especially when it came out, it used to suck like big time. It used to be just an okay tank that was, no different than the E5. It was probably very similar to the E5 without the armor, and that was it. But nowadays, this tank is quite different, and it is very good when it comes to the gun, for example. Because the DPM on this thing is 3,300 plus, which is very good for a standard heavy tank. And it's more than some medium tanks, to be fair. This has more DPM than medium tanks. Can you believe it? Which is pretty cool, of course. On top of that, you have some good weapon handling, some good aim time, and good dispersion. It's a little bit worse than the Chiefs and MK6, but that is understandable. So compared to like a Super Conqueror, an IS-7 or an IS-4, for example, or a VZ, this tank is going to be very, very good when it comes to the weapon handling, right? So this is one of the big advantages of this tank, is that the gun is superb for a heavy tank. Now, when it comes to its other pluses, we have some good mobility, 50 kilometers forward, with a very, very, very good power to weight ratio, so good horsepower per ton, over 20 horsepower per ton, which is very, very good for a heavy tank. Again, you can switch flanks very easily, you can switch positions, and it's going to allow you to play sort of comfortably. Now, when you come to the armor profile, this tank has a little bit of armor on the turret. I really wish they removed the cupola, and then this tank would really be perfect, because if they did remove the cupola, it would be, sort of like a completed arc, sort of. Now, this tank has a good turret and 10 degrees of gun depression, which sort of allow you to tank shells from medium tanks and light tanks quite effectively, and especially some heavies. Of course, TDs will smash right through you, and you don't have to worry too much about that. But the fact is that you will be able to block a few shells with your turret at times with 10 degrees of gun depression as well, which allow you to shoot very comfortably. One thing I have to say about this tank is just that it's very, very comfortable, right? The gun is comfortable, the gun depression is comfortable, everything about this thing sort of says I'm comfortable to play in, and please play me, especially for the better players, because again, good players rely less on armor and more on the gun of the tank, rather than complete randomness, which is the armor and RNG. So in this case, the E6 is perfect for better players at the game who already know how to play, especially in regards to taking up good positions, etc., etc. The E6 again doesn't have too much hull armor though, which is going to be its biggest negative. You won't be blocking a lot of shots with your hull, especially on flat terrain, so you don't have to, worry too much about that. You don't have to think about, changing your angle up a little bit, blah, 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 because no way in hell are you ever going to block a shot against, another heavy, for example. It just really will not happen. Overall, this tank is very, very good because you can fly around the map, get a good position at the start of the game, and then change it when necessary. You can change positions at times, and I think it is necessary because you're not going to be able to stop all shots coming into your turret. In fact, 50-50 is going to be my answer to that, because again, you don't have a turret like the Crown, you don't have a turret like, at least an E5. So in that case, I really feel like this tank should take up positions, but not for too long. You shouldn't try and bait shots with your turret all the time. You sort of need to play as a support role, kill off isolated tanks, or engage in firefights where you're not the main focus. For example, a mouse would always be the main focus. The E6 sort of is in the sideline or right behind the mouse, helping the team not take in shots, but give out shots rather than take them in, is how I would play the tank. So tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And with that, Happy is out, and I'll definitely see you guys next time. Bye-bye.